Hello dear students, in today's class we'll be studying figure of speech. What is figure of speech and why do we need this? Figure of speech is special use of language. If you want to say something, you want to say that thing in a special manner. You just don't want to give information only. You want to decorate your information. You want to make it beautiful. In Hindi, you call it alankar. हिंदी में आप इसको अलंकार कहते हैं. And in English, it is figure of speech. So, figure of speech is a special use of language to make the language more decorative, more attractive, and more beautiful. So, why do we need this? Because literature is such a topic, such a subject in which you need this figure of speech. Actually, the whole of literature is nothing but special use of language. Because in science, in commerce and in other subjects, we are focused on information. We are not focused on the very decorative language, very special language. But in literature, what I am saying is important, but this is not only important, how I am saying it. So, this how is important, and this is special application of language makes our language more beautiful, and it makes our information more communicative and more informative. So, in this class, it is an introductory class, because in this class I will be giving very basic information about figure of speech. So, main parts, the main examples of figure of speech are simile. In Hindi it is called upma. Another is metaphor. And in Hindi it is called rupak. Another is personification. In Hindi it is called manvikaran. Another is apostrophe. Hindi shambodhan. Hyperbole, atishayokti. Oxymoron, virodhabhas. Onomatopoeia, ध्वनि सूचक अव्यय. So these are some divisions, the main divisions, basic examples of parts of speech. So first that I am going to focus on is simile, that is called upma. Simile is what? Simile is a figure of speech in which we compare two things of different nature and comparison words are used. A comparison is made between two different kinds of objects with one point in common. It is indicated by such words as, like, so. In simile, as, like, so, these are the comparison words. You find these words. Mostly you find these words in simile. So now we will see some examples of simile. Life is like a dream. Life is compared to dream. Life is a long process, but when we die, and we realize that it is not something actual. Sometimes it seems that life is not real. Life is also a dream, and because of that, the poet may have compared life to dream. One point in common, both things. Life is one thing, dream is another thing. Both are compared. Comparison is made between both, and comparison word like is used. The presence of like indicates that this figure of speech is simile. He was like a tiger. He has been compared to tiger, and comparison word like has been used. He might have some qualities of tiger, because of which he might have been compared to tiger. He fought like a lion. His fighting style was like a lion, and he has been compared to lion, and comparison word like has been used. I wandered lonely as a cloud. This is a very famous line by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth says, I wandered lonely as a cloud. I wandered. This wandering I has been, means the poet has been compared to cloud. And the comparison word as is used here, which indicates that this figure of speech is simile. She is as firm as rock. Her determination has been compared to rock. So, one thing is she, another is rock. Comparison word is as. So, this is simile. She is lovely like a rose. She has been compared to rose, and the comparison word like has been used, because of which this figure of speech is simile. My love is like a red rose. This is very famous poem by Robert Burns. This very famous poem line by Robert Burns. Robert Burns compares his love with red rose. My love compared to red rose. One thing is my love, another thing is red rose, and comparison has been made, and the comparison word is like. So we'll move ahead. Metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor is also a figure of speech in which two different objects are compared, but the comparison words are not used. It is a figure of speech in which a comparison is made between two quite different kinds of objects without any point in common. And in metaphor, words of comparison like, as, so, etc. are not used. In simile, we saw that these words, comparison words like, as, so are used, but in metaphor, these words are not used. So, we will see some examples of this metaphor. Life is dream, direct. It is not like a dream, directly. Life is dream, direct statement. This is metaphor. In Hindi, it is Rupak. He was a tiger. He is not like a tiger. He is tiger, directly tiger. So this is metaphor. If we write he was like a tiger, then it could be simile. But he is a tiger, it is not simile, but it is a metaphor. Camel is the sheep of the desert. Very popular proverb. Camel is the sheep of the desert. Camel has been directly compared to the sheep of desert. It is not like sheep of desert, but it is sheep of desert. So direct comparison without any comparison word, this is example of metaphor. Life is a walking shadow. Life has been compared to walking shadow without any comparison words. That's why it is an example of metaphor. Love is the spice of life. Love has been called spice of life. It is not said that love is like spice of life. Love is spice of life. So this is an example of metaphor. Kalidas is the Shakespeare of India. Very popular notion. Kalidas has been directly called the Shakespeare of India. Kalidas is not like Shakespeare of India. He is Shakespeare of India. So this direct comparison without any comparison words makes this sentence an example of metaphor. One thing should be noticed here. If in all these sentences we add words like, as, so, etc., all these sentences will become the examples of simile. So this is the basic difference between simile and metaphor, that in simile we use comparison words like, as, so, and in metaphor we do not use these words. That's clear? Now we'll move ahead. Personification. Personification. Making some objects, treating some objects like a person is called personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which non-living things and abstract ideas, objects, etc., are treated as living human beings. Just like if I call this camera, hello camera, how are you? So camera is not a living thing. It is a non-living thing. But if I call him, you say, hello camera, how are you? How do you do? So I am personifying this. I am giving a personality to this camera. So that's it. So calling some non-living things, addressing them, treating them as living human being is the example. Personifying them, giving some personality, it is called personification. In Hindi it is called manvikaran. Let us see some examples of personification or manvikaran. Experience is the best teacher. Experience is what? Experience is what? Experience is nothing but an abstract thing. It is not a human, it is not a personality, but it is being given the personality of a best teacher. That's why this example is the example of personification. Love is blind, very popular line. Love is what? An abstract idea. It is not a person. But if we call it a blind is whom? Any person? Any animal? Any personality? Calling love a blind is giving it the personality. So we are personifying love. That's why this example, love is blind, is the example of personification. Truth sits upon the lips of dying men. Truth it is also an abstract idea. It is not a person. Sits. It goes and sits like a human being. No, it cannot sit like that, but we are just giving it some personality. And we want to say that truth, a dying person never tells a lie. That's why we say truth sits upon the lips of a dying man. Flowers of garden are laughing. Laughing is the act of human beings. Human beings laugh. Flowers cannot laugh. So we are giving flowers some personality. Flowers are not person. They are plants, but we are giving some personality, or then we are saying that flowers are laughing. So this is the example of personification. Authority forgets a dying king. Authority is what? An abstract idea. How can it forget? Forgetting is human process. A person forgets. A human being, a living human being forgets, who has memory, but authority forgets. Means we are giving authority some personality. We are personifying it. That's why it is an example of personification. Anxiety is sitting on her face. Once again, in the above example, we said truth sits upon the lips of dying men. Truth is sitting means truth is being treated as a person. We are giving some personality to truth. That's why this example is the example of personification. And once again, anxiety is sitting on her face. Anxiety is sitting is not the task of anxiety. It is the task of some human being. So some personality. So once again, we are personifying this anxiety. So that's why this anxiety is sitting on her face, means her face, through her face we can see that, we can assume that she is very much anxious. So this example, anxiety is sitting on her face, it is an example of personification. Death was standing in front of him. We often say that death was standing in front of me or in front of him. So death, has anyone seen death? The answer is no. This is just an abstract idea. Death means he was verge of dying. He thought some person is on the verge of dying, then it can be said about him that death was standing in front of him. So standing is the process of human being. It is not the task of death. So we are personifying death. We are giving some personality to death. That's why this example is also example of personification. Dreams generally come when we sleep. Dreams generally come when we sleep. Dreams come. Do they have legs? Human beings have legs. Human beings come. Persons come. Once again, we are giving dreams some personality, some human traits. That's why this example is also an example of personification. So dear students, in today's class, this is only up to this. In the next class, we will see some other examples of figure of speech. Thank you.